I stayed up to watch the Democratic debates tonight live, and I joined in on the discussion and snark on Twitter. And the Paul of 10 years ago is looking at me like, what happened to you? You care about politics now? Yes, I do care about politics now. Happy Wednesday, Paul Talkers and other viewers. I am Paul Roth. This is Where Paul Talks. The Democratic debate, right? Surely I'm not the only person surprised by how much they enjoyed watching that debate. I'm not even going to talk about Jim Webb, aside from saying that I don't understand how he is a Democratic candidate in 2015. Okay, that's it. I thought Lincoln Chafee wasn't that bad, although I disliked all of his "don't blame me for my newbie mistakes" responses that he gave to a couple of questions about his history of votes. But he was the only candidate to mention Native Americans. He did seem to be concerned about things like the environment. He wasn't horrible. I know Martin O'Malley because I live in Maryland, so I know some of his track record, and I was expecting him to suck, basically. And yet some of his answers were really pretty good. Good on environmental issues, good on being anti-gun. He might have been good about the rainbow community issues, but he didn't talk about it very much. The problem is, his track record in Maryland and Baltimore in particular is not a very good one with regards to treating his constituents well, particularly people of color. Hillary Clinton was the best debater by far. Her presence, her thoughtful answers, her preparation for a lot of the questions was really great, and yet some of her responses still didn't sit well with me. Like, she didn't seem to be able to address racism at all. In her response about marijuana, she still declined to support legalization of it, and yet she talked about how there is a incarceration problem because of the marijuana illegal status. You can't have it both ways. Also, I think that she's proud of having Iran as an enemy, and the Republicans. I mean, you're going to have to work with some Republicans if you're going to be a president. I'm not sure if you should be proud that they're your enemy. And yet she spoke up the most about reproductive rights, which is barely any. Still, the most. And I think that she and Bernie Sanders kind of tied with regards to how much they talked about the necessity for family leave. Which brings me to Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders had the right answers to so many questions. I wish that he were more fervently anti-gun. More fervently in favor of gun restrictions. The fact that you, Bernie, are from a place where there isn't so much gun violence doesn't help if you want to be the president of the entire United States, where there's a lot of gun violence. Huge kudos for Bernie's lack of hesitation in saying Black Lives Matter, because of course they do, but why the F do we have to ask this question in 2015? It's so disappointing that that question was asked of 100% white candidates. Bernie's response about Syria and foreign policy might have been the weakest. I really like that Sanders is upset about economic inequality. Yes, that is a horrible problem in the United States, but it is a component of a bigger problem, which is inequality in general, which is firmly entwined with lots of bigotries. It has to do with racism, it has to do with homophobia and transphobia, it has to do with ableism, it has to do with fear of immigrants. There's a lot of problems with inequality that you can't just say it's about the money. There are root causes to that. I think you have to address all of that, or at least acknowledge that that's where it comes from. I was disappointed that the debate contained 0 questions about the rainbow community. I mean, yes, same-sex marriage is allowed now, but that is one of like a million steps that we have to take because rainbow community lives are still in danger. Same-sex marriage is not a cure-all. I did like most of the candidates' responses about immigration reform. Martin O'Malley's was probably the strongest, which surprised me, but great. But where was mention of abortion? I think Clinton brought up Planned Parenthood, but that's about it? That's not... Where's all the repro rights discussion? We need tons more of that from our Democratic candidates, because we're not going to get good answers from our GOP candidates. If I had to vote right now for any of the candidates, Democratic, Republican, I would probably go with Bernie Sanders, just because he has shown from his interactions with Black Lives Matter, the movement, and changing his views and talking points, that he can learn and grow and become a better candidate for us. I am not convinced that any other candidates, if they are not where I want them to be, could get better. I kind of trust Bernie Sanders. I trust that he really is concerned about these issues and about all of the people that he mentions. I'm not entirely convinced that any of the other candidates on either side are concerned about all of the US's residents. And a president really needs to be. Those are my thoughts off the top of my head. I've researched very little, so I might be wrong on one of these points. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about one of these points. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts were on the Democratic debate if you saw it, or just the candidates in general, whether or not you saw the debate. Or tell me anything that matters to you, because I want to know what matters to you. If you liked these off the top of my head thoughts, please give this video a like. Please share it if you want to start a fight with people, because that's probably what this video would do. And if you want to hear more of the things I think about politics, our candidates, social issues, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And thank you for making it to the end of my video. Here at the end is where I always say, tomorrow will be even better.